Right then, this one kicked off proper fireworks. A Labour MP managed to derail an otherwise routine BBC political debate by launching into a statement that instantly set social media alight. What followed wasn't a calm exchange of ideas, but a moment many viewers described as a full-blown on-air meltdown. During the discussion, she pushed back against criticism aimed at Labour by declaring that people living in Britain who are black or Asian are just as English as you and me, a line delivered with absolute certainty and immediately challenged by commentators across the political spectrum. Now, this is where the conversation gets tricky because it blends emotion, identity, and definitions that people rarely agree on. The MP clearly intended the comment as inclusive. Critics, however, argue it muddied the distinction between nationality, citizenship, and ethnic identity, and did so on live television without nuance. That's why eyebrows shot up. The backlash wasn't about who belongs in Britain, it was about precision. English, British, citizen, these words aren't interchangeable, and when politicians blur them, viewers notice. The debate quickly spiraled as the MP referenced past comments about cities like Birmingham, accused opposing parties of dog whistle politics, and then doubled down on her phrasing rather than clarifying it. And that's when the mood shifted. Because instead of explaining the difference between cultural belonging and legal status, she leant into the soundbite, which, fair or not, left her wide open to criticism. Live television is unforgiving. Misspeak once and it sticks. And in this case, it stuck hard.
I think the key thing that we need to understand here is this just shows the weakness of Kemi Badenoch. Rather than sacking Robert Jenrick for defecting to reform, she should have sacked him in the autumn when he came to my neighbouring city of Birmingham and looked around, counted white faces. What an anti-British thing to do. Counting white faces and saying that said something about the integration of that city. She should have sacked him then, because decent people know that black Britons and Asian Britons are just as British as you and me. And if the decent people in politics, and never forget, the Conservative Party gave us our first Asian Prime Minister. Decent people in politics know that you don't count white faces. So frankly, that lot can go off to reform and be non-decent over there, and decent people in politics, we need to stand up for the values that built this country.
Tim.
Well, Nigel Farage is building a team that is absolutely multiracial. And if I thought that Nigel Farage was in any way racist or Robert Jenrick was racist, I wouldn't be
So you're all right
reform.
to say that an Asian person can be English? That if Bukayo Saka helps us win the World Cup this summer, he's as English as you and me. Is that right, Tim? You're happy to say that? I'm glad to say that. Because you share a party with people who won't say that. You share a party with people who believe that a black or an Asian English person is not as English as you and me. That is disgraceful. It is outside the bounds of politics.
I've absolutely made clear what my position is. But I think what voters are absolutely fed up with Labour is you play the race card again and again and again. Everyone is racist according to you all the time.
Some people in this conversation are decent.
If you actually dealt with the policy responses, the British people, if you controlled the nation's borders, you would be properly integrating our population together. And it's for your failure to do that is causing people to vote for reform. Not my failure,
it's the failure of the guy that has just joined your party, the immigration minister under whom immigration soared. We are getting back control of our borders. We're deporting people who are not allowed to be here. We're doing illegal raids on illegal working and getting back the control that we promised the British people at the election.
Things didn't calm down from there. If anything, they got messier. Trying to reinforce her point, the MP reached for a football analogy, referencing England players with diverse backgrounds as proof of her argument. The intention was obvious, the execution less so. Critics were quick to point out that international football eligibility is based on a mix of birthplace, heritage, and national qualification, not slogans. And by bringing it up, she arguably weakened her own case. The moment that really raised eyebrows, though, came when she praised her party for producing Britain's first Asian Prime Minister, a phrase that immediately contradicted her earlier claim. If ethnicity doesn't matter, viewers asked, why highlight it at all? That contradiction didn't go unnoticed. From there, the segment drifted into familiar political territory: border control, migration, and claims about Labour getting a grip. Statements that, fairly or not, were met with skepticism given current statistics and recent headlines. By the end of the clip, the core issue wasn't immigration, race, or football. It was credibility. Viewers expect politicians to choose their words carefully, especially on sensitive topics. When definitions blur and arguments clash, confidence evaporates fast. This wasn't a debate settled, it was a debate exposed, live, raw, and unscripted. And whether you agree with her sentiment or not, one thing's undeniable: this moment didn't help Labour's messaging, and it handed critics plenty of ammunition.